Today, let's dive into something pretty incredible. It's a concept called sleight of mouth, and we're going to see how just a few very specific language patterns can literally reshape the way we think and how you can start using them yourself.
But first, just think about this for a second. What if you could take a belief that's holding you back and just unravel it? Not by fighting it, not with some huge effort, but with just a couple of carefully chosen questions. It sounds almost too good to be true, right? But that's exactly what we're talking about today. You know, the name itself, sleight of mouth, is the perfect clue. We all know what sleight of hand is, right? A magician uses it to redirect our attention to create an illusion. Well, this is the same idea, but it uses language to redirect your mental focus to disrupt a limiting belief and, just like that, open up brand new possibilities.
So let's get right into it. What exactly is sleight of mouth?
Okay, so sleight of mouth is a pretty advanced technique that comes from neuro-linguistic programming. You've probably heard of it as NLP. It was developed by a guy named Robert Dilts, and the real genius behind it is that it doesn't try to fight a belief head-on. Instead, it just elegantly changes its meaning. And this right here is the absolute key difference. Look, trying to argue someone, or even yourself, out of a belief is almost always a losing battle, right? It just makes us defensive. We dig our heels in even deeper. The winning strategy, the smart strategy, is to change the meaning around the belief. You make it irrelevant without ever actually attacking it directly. Now, I know that might sound a little abstract, so let's make it super concrete. We're going to walk through a real-world example, step by step, to see exactly how this whole thing works. So, here's our starting point. This is a client's actual limiting belief. If I'm tired, I can't continue to sleep. It's a really simple cause and effect statement, and to the person experiencing it, it feels 100% real. So how do we approach this without just arguing? The practitioner starts with this question. Now, notice what's happening here. They don't say, "That's not true," or "You're wrong." Instead, it very gently suggests there might be a hidden positive intention. It reframes the problem of staying awake as a potential choice made for a good reason. And right away, that starts to loosen the belief's grip. Then comes the next question, and this one is designed to really mess with the internal logic. The belief says, tired equals can't sleep. This question introduces a total paradox. Wait, can you be tired and refreshed at the same time? This creates this tiny, productive bit of confusion in the mind, and it forces it to consider a new possibility that exists completely outside of that old, rigid rule. And that's the magic, right there. See, these questions aren't attacks. They are reframes. Each one is designed to shift the perspective, to interrupt that automatic pattern, and to create an opening where a new, much more empowering belief can finally take root. So you might be wondering, why does this work so consistently? Well, it's because our beliefs, even the really stubborn ones, aren't just random feelings we have. They actually have a structure. This is the secret sauce. Our minds build beliefs using these predictable, logical patterns. So once you can identify what that pattern is, you can use very specific linguistic tools to take it apart. It's kind of like knowing the blueprint of a building before you try to renovate it. And here are two of the most common structures you'll see. There's single causality, which is a simple X causes Y, like he made me angry. Then there's double causality, which is an if-then statement. That's just like our sleep example. If I'm tired, then I can't sleep. I promise, once you start listening for these patterns in your own head, you will start to hear them everywhere. So, what is the big takeaway from all of this? It really comes down to the incredible and often overlooked power that you hold in your own language. This is the core idea, and it's a huge one. We tend to think of our words as just a tool to describe the world as it is. But what techniques like sleight of mouth show us is that language also creates our reality, especially our internal one. The words you use are literally building the framework of your entire experience. And this brings all the power right back to you. When we actually become conscious of these patterns in our own language, the if-thens and the this causes that's, we suddenly gain the ability to shift them. By changing your words, you can literally change your world from the inside out. So I'll leave you with this. Just think about one small, limiting belief you might have. Doesn't have to be a big one. And using what we just talked about, what's one little question you could ask yourself to start changing its meaning? What belief could you start to reframe today?